Hello my turtlings and welcome to part 2 of my PC upgrade. This episode is going to be about dismantling my old computer and putting new thermal paste on the graphics card since it is a year old. What we're going to start with is what my old case looks like. So here are just some basic pictures of what it looks like. It's got one fan at the front, two fans on the side, one outtake fan on the back, and it's quite a small case. So you got like the power supply on the top, you got all your bays and like the normal place on the right side of the case. So it's kind of like a squish. There is no kind of way for things to go in. My one hasn't got dusty in a year because of those fans. Those fans are the most crappiest fans ever. They like just blow no air, but they just blow a little bit just so my PC wouldn't get dusty. So it's good that my new fans are better at this. So let's get into actually starting to dismantle the PC case. So the first thing what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unplug the side panel fans from the case just to get them out of the way. First of all, we're going to start with by unplugging the graphics card from the PC power and display, and we're going to unscrew it and take that bad boy out. The next thing what we're going to do is we're going to cut all the zip ties off, because the case had no room at the back for me to cable manage any of my stuff. So we're going to have to get rid of all of them, unplug them all, and move them away. Once that was done, now it's just time to get one of the big pieces out, is the power supply. So we just turned it over and started unscrewing the back of it to remove it. Once we took the power supply out, now we started to remove the my hard drive that I had in it, because I only had one hard drive, but that's got literally everything I own on my PC on it. So we started to remove it. So we removed the front side first, and we had to go back and remove the other side. And while we were there, we also removed the DVD drive and stuff from the top, and yeah, so we had to get them out to get everything a lot cleaner, so that we can get the motherboard out a lot easier. The next thing I did was I removed all of the front panel connectors so they weren't in my way when I was taking them out, and I could easily get them out from this position anyway. So now it's time to get the motherboard out. We started to unscrew all the screws on the motherboard to the case. It's around about 6 or something, so we started with that. After we removed the motherboard, I unplugged the fan header for the CPU cooler. Then I started to remove the cooler from the motherboard, like as I am showing, because it is the stock cooler and I do not need it. After that, I removed all my RAM. So this RAM I am not using again, because it is only it's 32 gigabytes of RAM, but they're 1600 gigahertz each, so they're not what I want for RAM, so they have to be removed. Once we remove the RAM, now we got to clean up the CPU. So I started off with just paper towel, just wiping it down. Then I got some cotton buds and used rubbing alcohol to clean it up, because it's still thermal paste on it. As I was doing that, every single time I wanted to wipe it, I wiped it with coffee filters to stop lint, because I don't want lint to be on it. It's just a thing that you just don't want. Now it's time to remove the CPU. What you have to do is you got to push down on the retention arm, move it back, then get your two fingers and just take it out. It's exactly the same as putting it back, and you just do the retention arm, plop it in, and do stuff like that. So that's basically all the steps for literally just removing it. There's nothing else in my thing that I really care about. Literally nothing. It was all on the motherboard. So what we're going to do now is remove the cooler off my GTX 760 from Asus. The first step in this is to just remove all the screws at the back of the graphics card. So you see that there is 2 over the GPU plate and 2 on the side, and it's really simple. This one doesn't have many screws as some other cards do. So the cooler is literally got lots of heat pipes and stuff. We're still going to be using that. It's still a decent cooler. Here's what the graphics card looks like without a cooler, literally just bare bones. It's smaller than an ordinary card, so it's small. It's not like massive like some cards, because it's only got a small area. So now we need to actually clean up the GPU chip itself. So to clean it up, I'm doing exactly what we did with the CPU. So what you do is you wipe it down with tissue paper, then you put the cotton buds and with rubbing alcohol, and you just go with it, and then you 70% or 90%, it's fine. Just, yeah, so non-conductive and whatnot. And then wipe it down with coffee filters, and that's literally it. Just make sure you got it decently clean. It's not a big problem. Just if you want to be a neat freak, and being a neat freak and this helps. So yeah. So after you do that, you want to put thermal paste on it. You just do a little squirt, and it will work. I didn't film this because my camera went a bit dead in that section. But yeah, just a little pea blob on it on the GPU bit, and then gently put the graphics card down, and then you're done. So that's what you do. So after that, you want to put the cooler back on. So first of all, you want to plug in the fan header. I forgot to mention that, but you just plug that back into the slot that is on the graphics card, and you just build it back up, screw back in all the screws, as you did when you took it off, when like opposite. So that has been part 2 of this video. If you haven't checked it out, there's a part 1 of this explaining all the parts I'm using to build the PC. So this has been the one of me dismantling my PC, cleaning up a CPU and a GPU, taking off the heatsink off a graphics card. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to check out on the screen now, there'll be a link, there'll be a annotation to the previous video. So I hope you like the video, and stay tuned for part 3, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.